Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Kangaroo Education Foundation Facebook Live Session. आज चाहिँ हाम्रो फेसबुक लाइभ सेसनमा युके एज अ डेस्टिनेसनको रूपमा हामीले फेसबुक लाइभ सेसन गर्दैछौँ। आजको लाइभ सेसनमा हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ ग्रान्ट स्मिथ फ्रम युनिभर्सिटी अफ डन्डी. He is a senior international officer for South and Central Asia. And we also have Subash Sir from he's our head of department, UK department, and also our IELTS instructor as well. So University of Dundee is a public research university from Dundee, Scotland, from the UK. It's a really well-ranked 322 as per the 2022 QS ranking. So there are more than 3,000 international students. They studied in University of Dundee. It's a really well-ranked university. And I would like to take this floor to Grant. So he will be having a sort of presentation, small presentation about the University of Dundee course structure and scholarship sort of things. And we will have a question and answer session after this presentation. So over to you, Grant.
That's great. Thank you very much, and thank you for that kind introduction. So hopefully I'll only spend absolutely most 15 minutes on this presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Now, you'll probably realise I have quite a strong Scottish accent, so obviously being from Scotland and the United Kingdom. So if you would like me to slow down at any point or repeat anything, please feel free to leave a comment, or I'm sure my colleagues will be able to give me a shout, and I can certainly slow down or repeat anything. So just to get started, obviously we're from the University of Dundee in the United Kingdom, and we're based in the north of the United Kingdom in Scotland. So if you don't know where the University of Dundee is and where the city of Dundee is, I've got a nice wee map here to try and illustrate it for you. So we are on the east coast of Scotland, around an hour north of the capital city, Edinburgh, and around 6 hours by train from London, and that's a direct train you can take all the way from Dundee straight to London. So you get on in the city centre of Dundee, and the next time you get off, you'll be right at King's Cross in the centre of London. But we are very accessible across both Scotland, the rest of the UK, and also the rest of the world. So it's only an hour and a half to the two major cities in Scotland, in Edinburgh and Glasgow. We are only a 1 hour flight from London, so you can get a direct flight all the way from London right into Dundee. So that's from London City Airport into Dundee. Now that is quite a small plane, so if you do not like small planes, what I would recommend you do is get a flight from London up to Edinburgh, and from there it's a direct bus from the terminal right into the city centre of Dundee. But you do have the option of either. And obviously, for visits to London when you're studying in Dundee, that flight from Dundee straight down to London is extremely convenient. And joining us from Nepal, I would say the best way to join us is probably through London, or you can fly via Doha, and that would go into Edinburgh. And again, there's that direct bus from Edinburgh Terminal right into the city centre of Dundee. So very accessible. The United Kingdom is not a big place. No matter where you go to study, everything really is going to be on your doorstep. The train and bus links and flight links are often excellent. So you've maybe not heard of the University of Dundee before, you've maybe not heard of the city of Dundee before, and that's okay. That is why I'm here, to try and share this information. So the city of Dundee is quite well known now, so you might not have heard of it until recently, but we are considered one of the must-visit destinations in the whole of the world. And I know that seems quite dramatic, but really, according to National Geographic, Vogue, Condé Nast, Skyscanner, also things like the Wall Street Journal, they ranked in the top 10 places in the whole world to visit. So we had Dundee, but you also had places like the Maldives in the same list. And that's amazing, especially for students who get to come and live and study in our city. It's one of the top 10 places in the whole world for you to visit. So it's a really up and coming city. And it's also one of the most densely student populated cities in the whole of Europe as well. So around 1 in 7 of our population in Dundee are actually students. And a large amount of that are also international students too. In the rankings, we do very well. So we are a top 30 university in the UK, according to the Complete University Guide. We're in the top 250 universities in the whole world, according to the Times Higher Education rankings in 2022. And other rankings such as the top 50 universities for impact In terms of graduate potential, we rank #1 in Scotland and 4th in the UK. So that's where graduates are entering professional occupations after they graduate. And previously we have done very well for things like student satisfaction. People often enjoy themselves when they come and study at the University of Dundee. I can speak from experience. I'm a former student of the University of Dundee myself. I studied an undergraduate degree in geography and graduated in 2015, and I absolutely loved my time in Dundee. Hence why I'm sat here speaking to you now about the university. So everything you see within this picture here is our campus. So Dundee is considered a campus-based university. So everything you see is what you need on the campus. So there's accommodation blocks, and I'll speak about that very shortly. There are teaching blocks, so things like business, law, engineering, computing. This will all be on our campus. And it's around a 10-minute walk at absolute most from one side to the other. So it's not a big campus, but it's all very self-contained. But what it does do is creates a really great community feeling in Dundee. So when you are walking between classes, maybe you're walking to get a coffee, you're going to see your friends, you're going to see people you know, and it really makes a great, vibrant campus for the University of Dundee. Also on our campus are things like the student gym, the workshop facilities, and the student union as well. So the student union has been ranked as one of the best in the UK. And a large amount of that is just due to the support that that can offer. The student union is run by students for students. So there's a lot of support network available within our student union. And I spoke very briefly about the accommodation that we can offer. So we offer on-campus accommodation at the University of Dundee. Accommodation, depending on when you apply for, is guaranteed for all students who applied by the advertised deadlines, but particularly for September entry, it has that guarantee as long as you apply before the end of August. Obviously for January entry, which we're coming into now, just get in touch and then we can guide you on this. Our accommodation is very high quality. Again, I'm very biased here, but I stayed in the accommodation myself. So again, I can speak from personal experience, but all of our accommodation on campus is en suite. So you're going to be guaranteed your own bathroom when you move into university accommodation. And you're only going to be at most a 5-minute walk from all of your lectures, whether you're an undergraduate or postgraduate student. And it's also a very safe place to live as well, both because you're on our campus and our university will have its 24-hour security. But we do have plenty of private accommodation options in Dundee, and that really is just the benefit of living only 5 minutes from the city centre. So when you see the map here, just where you see the word campus, that is pretty much the city centre. And again, something I enjoyed a lot was having the campus there and having that student experience, but being able to walk 5 minutes into a city centre as well. So the private accommodation, again, is only going to be at most a 10 to 15-minute walk away, but it does provide a more affordable option. In fact, Dundee is one of the most affordable cities in the whole of the UK that you can live in. So your money will go a little bit further if you do move somewhere like Dundee in the UK. And the private accommodation prices are going to reflect that. And it does work out a little bit cheaper if you move into private accommodation than some of our university accommodation, but that is pure preference there. We do make a global impact, so we're in one of the world's top 100 universities for research quality, for things like biological sciences as well. We're #1 in the UK for research. So there's loads of amazing things happening at the University of Dundee. And Dundee actually contributed to the vaccines and the effort against COVID-19, which obviously has affected us all. So there's a lot of high quality research taking place at the university. Now, I don't want to bore everyone by going through every single course that we could possibly offer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through a few. But if you have any questions about subjects that I've not covered, just get in touch and I can help provide that information for you. But I'll start off with business. We offer a range of undergraduate and postgraduate business options. So if you're interested in undergraduate, you may be wanting to do accountancy, or you might want to do international business or business management. At a postgraduate level, we have a range of different subjects, both for people that have never studied business before. So I, as a geography student, could decide to do one of our conversion business courses. Or if you're looking to extend your knowledge within business, perhaps in finance, banking, risk, and accountancy, then you can study one of our extension courses as well. And these are all going to be available in January entry for you, as well as next September, which again, is more convenient for you. With our accountancy courses, we do offer a really wide range of accreditations as well, particularly with the ACCA. So there is an opportunity to fully accredit yourself and exempt yourself from exams with the ACCA through some of our undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Within social sciences, we have a range of LLM subjects. Now, a question we get asked a lot about our law courses are, because you're in Scotland, does that mean that you can only study Scottish law? No, that is not the case. So if you're interested in studying law, around 50% of our students and 50% of our staff either learn or practice in common law. So that is what is English, Welsh and Northern Irish law. And that reflects both the undergraduate level and the LLM. So LLM are not jurisdiction specific. So coming to do an LLM at somewhere like Dundee is going to be the same as if you learn that anywhere else in the UK. In science and engineering, we offer a wide range of subjects from data science and engineering, computing at undergraduate level, computing science, applied computing, and also things like industrial engineering and management. So really, whatever you are interested in, Dundee will hope to cater for you. And we have some amazing workshops that help you learn in a very, very practical way. So the level of teaching you're going to get, we hope is going to be a very high standard for you and really engaging as well. We are very well known for our medicine and dentistry. We normally rank in the top 3 to 5 in the UK for both subjects. And again, these can bring very practical elements. So for dentistry, we have previously offered things like endodontics and prosthodontics, and also things like in medicine, human clinical embryology and assisted conception. So there's really practical elements, but we also offer classroom-based courses. So we offer public health courses in both medicine and in dentistry. And we also offer a large range of nursing and health sciences courses as well. So if you are looking to go into nursing at an undergraduate level, we're actually ranked in the top 100 in the world for nursing in the World Rankings QS in 2019. And part of that is the level of teaching we can provide, the level of practical placement that we can offer as well. So the hospital in Dundee is actually one of the largest teaching hospitals in the whole of Europe. So as a nurse, whether you're learning at undergraduate or postgraduate level, you're going to be learning in one of the best places in the whole of Europe in terms of practical experience. So we do offer a wide range. So if you're interested in things like infection prevention and control, if you're interested in converting to be a nurse, if you've not been doing nursing at undergraduate level, there's going to be lots of options for you there. And we do have great employability, like I mentioned. We're 4th in the UK for students entering professional occupations. So tuition fees, very important. So for January entry, these fees are correct. So if you're looking to do something like business or law, then it's classroom-based courses. That would be your tuition fee. So that is £18,950 per year of study. So that would be per year of study for undergraduate. But our postgraduate courses are only 12 months long. So it's only a 1-year postgraduate course. That is your full fees there. If you are doing a lab-based course, so that could be something like science and engineering, maybe industrial engineering, or it could be something like life sciences, so biomedical sciences, then it's going to be £22,950. Our fees aren't confirmed yet for September 2022 entry, but this should come out in the coming months. But generally, it's no more than a 5% rise on the figures that you see there. But the most important thing I can tell you is about our wonderful scholarships that we have for students joining us from Nepal. So we have an automatic £5,000 per year discount for undergraduate, or a £5,000 discount for our 1-year postgraduate courses. And that is going to be guaranteed for January entry. So if you are interested in studying business or law, or if you're interested in studying one of our science and engineering courses in January, that is going to be available automatically. So if you apply through Kangaroo, then they will be able to guide you to make that application. Hopefully you'll receive an offer. And at the point of offer, that is going to be automatically applied. So there's no application needed. So the fees that you saw previously, if you want to do business, for example, or law, then your fees as a student from Nepal is going to be £13,950, or for science and engineering courses, £17,950. So for anyone looking at January entry, this is a really amazing time to join us at the University of Dundee, particularly when you look at the ranking of the university as well. I can see there might be some problems with the presentation. Hopefully, okay, perfect. I think it's all running smoothly. So just to run through both undergraduate and postgraduate. So if you're interested in joining us at the University of Dundee undergraduate, there's lots of opportunity for you to do so. Now, one of the best things about coming to study in Scotland is that we offer a 4-year degree. So your first 2 years tend to be a little bit more broad, and the last 2 years are a little bit more specific. But what it does mean is that you can come to somewhere like the University of Dundee without doing something like a foundation degree, because that will be integrated into our 4-year degree. So either you come directly for 4 years, or you can come and study a foundation year within those 4 years. So there's going to be options regardless of what qualifications you're coming into at an undergraduate level. But for direct entry, we would accept the higher secondary education certificate or any international qualifications such as IB or A-level. And at a postgraduate level, we would accept a 4-year bachelor's degree with 70% or above. And that will be considered probably the equivalent of a 2-2 degree, but many of our courses will be eligible for 2-2. So things like business, law, some of our nursing programs as well. A 2-2 is going to be our entry requirement. So you will gain entry from Nepal with a 4-year bachelor's degree with 70% or above. If you are interested in one of our science and engineering courses, or maybe interested in one of our medicine or dentistry, it may be they require a 1-year master's degree. So either a completion of a 1-year master's degree after a 3-year bachelor's. But again, Kangaroo will be able to guide you on this. They'll be able to liaise with me, or you can liaise with me directly, and I can provide this information even before you apply. And for the University of Dundee, we do require a CELT, so we are requiring IELTS, TOEFL, Pearson, Trinity. So for business courses, you're normally looking at that lower requirement. And for our LLM courses and for other science and engineering courses, it tends to be the standard requirement. So the requirements aren't too high, but I do realise there is some inconvenience sometimes applying through a CELT. But this will strengthen any visa application that you have coming to the UK as well. So that's a range of English language requirements that we contain. And how can you apply? So you can apply through UCAS if you're an undergraduate student. So if you're applying for more than one UK university, then you might want to find that most convenient applying through UCAS. Or you can apply directly for both undergraduate and postgraduate courses to the University of Dundee. And there's no fee for this. So you can apply for free to the University of Dundee. And that is my contact details as well. So I work with my colleague Radhika Shah. Radhika works and is based in Mumbai in India. So similar-ish time zone, if that's more convenient, but that's our contact details here. But what I would say is that if you do have any questions, Kangaroo Education will be the ones to help guide you through that. And we'll have a lot of information, both on the University of Dundee, but also on things like visa requirements and how to make that application. So thank you very much. Hopefully that wasn't too long, and I'll pass back over for any questions there might be.
Thank you so much, Grant, for this well-informed presentation. Could you please explain something about the situation of COVID in UK and in Dundee overall? What is the situation, and is it improving at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So things are definitely improving in the UK at the moment, and a large part of that has just been because of the vaccine campaign that we've had. So there's quite a high number of people now in the UK that are fully vaccinated. And what that's meant is that restrictions have been able to ease. So although cases on paper may still look quite high, living is kind of gone back to as normal as it can be. Obviously, there are still some things that are needed. So masks in Scotland, for example, are still required on things like public transport, in shops, and really that's just a public safety thing. But certainly going into cafes, if you want to go in for a coffee and sit down with your friends, that's certainly possible. At a university level, we are offering a blended learning for our first semester. So lectures of a large size. So particularly if you're maybe an undergraduate student coming into a lecture, and lectures used to be maybe 200, 300 people, just to keep people safe, we are running them online for now. And that is good though, you still get that engagement with a lecturer. A lot of people have actually preferred these larger lectures online because it means they can engage more rather than having to put their hand up in front of 200 people. So there's been some benefit there. But you will get face-to-face teaching at the University of Dundee, for example, going forward. So that's more likely to be in your smaller class sizes. So tutorials, seminars, in workshops where the class size are maybe less than 50, that's the classes that will be in person. But if you're looking for a postgraduate course, many of our postgraduate courses have their classes at no more than 50 anyway. So there will be quite a lot of face-to-face. But certainly the situation is improving, and I think it's kind of as normal as it has been for the last 18 months. There's plenty to be doing. Sports are back as well, both to play and also to watch. So if you're into football or soccer or things, you're now able to go and watch things like that with other people in a stadium. So for me, that was a big thing for me when that opened up.
That's really good. Things are moving good. If you have recently joined, you are on the Facebook Live session of Kangaroo Education Foundation, and we have Grant Smith from University of Dundee today. Grant, could you please explain something about what are the safety measures in the university, safety measures placed by the university due to the COVID, so the Nepalese parents will be assured of the student safety there?
Yeah, so the safety measures at the University of Dundee, so like I say, face masks are still required in indoor settings. So certainly for the first semester, while cases still remain relatively high, you are required to wear a face mask when you are moving between lectures and also when you're sitting in a lecture. So that's just to keep everyone safe. Obviously, lectures are all well ventilated. So if you are studying at the University of Dundee, or in fact, any university in the UK, there are ventilation requirements. So everywhere that you go into should meet a certain standard now in ventilation to keep you safe. But obviously, wearing a face mask just provides that extra layer. On campus as well, we are providing extra student support. So for students that are joining us, for example, from red list countries, although thankfully that's gone down a little bit now, but previously students from red list countries, we were refunding that cost. So for anyone that joined us, for example, from Bangladesh, Nepal or Pakistan, they're on the red list this intake, we're able to refund that cost. Going forward as well with amber list countries, or if you do need to self-isolate when you arrive, we will provide supports, whether that is self-isolation in our own accommodation blocks, if that is possible, or alternatively providing support and helping you arrange food parcels if you are self-isolating for up to 10 days when you arrive. So that's the support we're providing from the first instance. And also going forward as well, and we are even offering things like drop-in clinics for the vaccine. So if you've not had the opportunity to get your vaccine yet, and you come to the University of Dundee, we actually have a drop-in on our campus. I believe it's this week. So we really are just encouraging people to get vaccinated. And obviously with the National Health Service in the UK, there's no cost for this. So if you are worried about maybe not receiving your vaccination before you arrive, that goes for any university. Don't worry, there will be things in place to help you get that and just provide that bit of safety and reassurance for you when you are maybe sitting in a lecture theatre or going for a coffee with your friends. That's kind of most important safety measure that we can advise personally to people.
Thank you so much, Grant. हामीसँग आज सुभाष पौडेल सर पनि हुन्छ. Subash Poudyal sir, he is our head of department, UK department at Kangaroo Foundation. सुभाष सर, अहिले UK को चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै ट्राभलिङ भइरहेछ, स्टुडेन्टहरु प्लस प्यारेन्ट्सहरुबाट एकदम धेरै इन्क्वायरी आइरहेछ. अब UK चाहिँ किन जाने होला, नेपाली स्टुडेन्टहरु UK मा किन पढ्न जाने, प्लस UK को लागि चाहिँ सरल रूपमा अफर देखि भिजा सम्मको प्रोसेस कस्तो हुन्छ, अलिकति भनिदिनुस् सुभाष.
So welcome everyone. Namaste. I'm Subash. Sorry, introduction lihalnu. So I'm head of department for UK and Europe at Kangaroo Education Foundation. So UK को बारेमा सरस्वतीमा तपाईलाई बताउन गइरहेको छु ओभरअल प्रोसेस र कस्तो भइरहेछ अब कन्डिसन. UK अहिले मार्केटमा चलेको स्टडी अब्रोड डेस्टिनेसन मध्येमा अहिले एकदम पपुलर भइरहेको छ, किनभने UK रिसेन्टली यसले फेरि PSW चाहिँ अस्तिबाट फेरि लन्च गरेको छ. त्यो लन्च चाहिँ हाम्रो यो PSW चाहिँ 2021 को जुनबाट स्टार्ट भएको थियो. त्यसले गर्दा फेरि स्टुडेन्टहरुलाई एउटा जानलाई नयाँ पोसिबिलिटी दिनु, एक्सपिरियन्सको साथसाथमा कामको लागि एउटा पर्टिकुलर ठाउँ 2 वर्ष टाइम दिएको भन्छ भएर पनि अलि पपुलर भएको. सो वाइ स्टडी अब्रोड इन UK. सो आम गोना कभर दैट फर्स्ट. ओभरअल हेर्दाखेरि UK को एजुकेसन सिस्टम एकदमै राम्रो छ. पोइन्ट बेस सिस्टम, भिजा प्रोसेसिङमा पनि एकदम सजिलो छ, किनभने तपाईहरु पोइन्ट सेक्युर गर्नुभयो भने भिजा लाग्ने चान्स एकदम हाई हुन्छ. त्यसमा कुनै रिजेक्सनको चान्स हुँदैन. रिजेक्सन भइहाल्यो भने पनि उनीले एक्सप्लेनेसन गर्नुभएको भएर त्यसले गाह्रो छैन. र अर्को कुरा भनेको चाहिँ UK वान अफ दि मस्ट हाइली एक्रेडिटेड एजुकेसनल सेन्टरहरु चाहिँ UK मा छ. एकदम राम्रो नाम चलेको एजुकेसन इन्स्टिट्युटहरु, वर्ल्ड रिनाउन्ड इन्स्टिट्युटहरु, चिपर कस्ट अफ लिभिङ, हायर सेक्युरिटी, त्यो भन्दा बाहेक अब PSW विथ एडेड बोनस भइहाल्यो. यो कुराहरु यो र अरु अनि धेरै कुरा गर्दाखेरि US अहिले UK अहिलेको मार्केट कन्डिसनमा एकदम राम्रो एट्र्याक्सनको रूपमा आएको छ. ओभरअल प्रोसेसको कुरा गर्दाखेरि UK को प्रोसेस एकदम सिम्पल छ, यिनीहरुले सिम्प्लिफाइड सिस्टममा राखेको छ. टोटल तपाईले 70 पोइन्ट्स सेक्युर गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ. 70 पोइन्ट्समा तपाईको 50 पोइन्ट्स सुरुमा तपाईको 50 पोइन्ट्स तपाईको एजुकेसन सर्टिफिकेटहरु आउँछ. त्यसलाई हामी कास्ट भन्छौँ. कास्ट चाहिँ युनिभर्सिटीले तपाईको सबै डकुमेन्टहरु हेरिसकेपछि अफर गर्ने एउटा लेटर हो. त्यो लेटर पाएपछि तपाईले 50 पोइन्ट पाउनुहुन्छ. 10 पोइन्ट तपाईको ल्याङ्ग्वेज सर्टिफिकेटले पाउँछ र बाँकी 10 पोइन्ट चाहिँ तपाईको फाइनान्शियल जुन तपाईले पे गर्नुहुन्छ अथवा पे गर्नको लागि तपाईले ब्याकअप देखाउनुहुन्छ, त्यसले गर्दा 10 पोइन्ट पाउनुहुन्छ. टोटल तपाईले 76 पोइन्ट सिक्योर गरेपछि तपाईको भिजा लाग्छ. तपाईँको कस्टहरू कुरा गर्दाखेरि युकेमा सबभन्दा ठुलो कस्ट भनेको चाहिँ अब एप्लिकेसन फी नै हो। युनिभर्सिटी हेरेर तपाईँले छान्नुहुन्छ। स्टुडेन्ट युजली हामीलाई सोधिरहनु भएको हुन्छ कि युकेमा पढ्न कति महँगो छ त, के महँगो छ, के सस्तो छ। यो कुरा चाहिँ एक्ज्याक्टली भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ तपाईँको एजुकेसन सर्टिफिकेटहरू, तपाईँको मार्क्स हेरेर पनि हामी भन्न सक्छौँ। त्यति भन्न गाह्रो हुन्छ किनभने देयर इज अ रेन्ज। कति केसमा हामी 30%, 40% स्कलरसिपहरू पनि अफर गरेका छौँ। अब त्यो स्टुडेन्टलाई अटोमेटिकली सस्तो पर्न गयो। अब कति केसमा चाहिँ अलिकति महँगो पर्न आउँछ किनभने तपाईँको मामला एजुकेसनल ब्याकग्राउन्ड पनि तपाईँको विक छ, तपाईँले कुनै स्कलरसिप सेक्युर गर्नु भएन। त्यसको अलावा पनि तपाईँले एकदम राम्रो युनिभर्सिटी छान्नुभयो भने युनिभर्सिटीहरू हेरेर पनि फी रेन्ज हुन्छ। किनभने कति युनिभर्सिटी हामीसँग सस्तो रेटिङमा पनि छ, कति युनिभर्सिटी एकदम अलिकति एक्सपेन्सिभ रेटिङमा पनि छ। क्वालिटी पनि ऱ्याङ्किङ पनि त्यो अनुसारको हुन्छ। सबभन्दा ठुलो कस्ट तपाईँको एडमिसन फी नै हो। त्योभन्दा पछाडि तपाईँले तिर्नुपर्ने कस्टहरू म अरू सरसर्ती सकिन्छ चाँडै बताइदिन्छु किनभने यो प्रोग्राम धेरै लामो हुन्छ। यसमा तपाईँले स्टुडेन्ट युकेमा फी भन्दा बाहेक तपाईँले तिर्नुपर्ने कुरा भनेको IHS नेसनल हेल्थ सरचार्ज भन्छ। यो चाहिँ हेल्थ इन्सुरेन्स जस्तै हो, अन्य कन्ट्रीमा गर्ने हेल्थ इन्सुरेन्स जस्तै हो। तपाईँले 1 वर्षको हेल्थ इन्सुरेन्स तिर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ पर पर्सन। 624 पाउन्ड पर्न आउँछ। त्यो चाहिँ 12 महिनाको लागि तिरियो। स्टुडेन्टको स्पाउस युकेमा डिपेन्डेन्ट भिजा पनि छ, त्यो केसमा तपाईँले 624 पाउन्ड पर पर्सन पर इयर त्यो तिरियो। लिभिङ कस्ट तपाईँले देखाउनुपर्छ आफ्नो खातामा। त्यो देखाउँदाखेरि लन्डनभित्र हुनुहुन्छ भने 1334 पाउन्ड पर मन्थ, भन्नाको मतलब 12,006 पाउन्ड देखाउनुपर्छ। 9 महिनाको लागि लिभिङ एक्सपेन्स देखाउनुपर्छ। यो चाहिँ खातामा देखाउने पैसा हो। नेपाली ट्रान्सफर गर्दाखेरि लगभग 21 लाख पर्न आउँछ। त्योभन्दा बाहेक स्पाउसको सवालमा चाहिँ 845 पाउन्ड देखाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ, भन्नाको मतलब 7,605 पाउन्ड 9 महिनाको लागि। इन टोटल 13 लाख। एक्लै एप्लाई गर्नुहुन्छ भने 21 लाख, विथ डिपेन्डेन्ट अप्लाई गर्नुहुन्छ भने 21 + 13 गरेर तपाईँको भागमा पर्न आउँछ लगभग 33 लाख पर्न आउँछ। लिभिङ कस्ट देखाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ इनसाइड लन्डन है। अब आउटसाइड लन्डन चाहिँ त्यो धेरै सस्तो पर्न आउँछ। आउटसाइड लन्डन स्टुडेन्टले 16 लाख नेपाली देखाएको छ र स्पाउसले 11 लाख देखाएको छ। यो चाहिँ तपाईँको खातामा देखाउनुपर्छ। त्यो खातामा देखाउनु पनि दुईवटा तरिका छ। एउटा चाहिँ तपाईँले ब्याङ्कमा 28 दिनसम्म स्टेटमेन्ट राखेर स्टेटमेन्ट निकाल देखाउन सक्नुहुन्छ, अथवा एजुकेसन लोन सिक्योर गरेर एजुकेसन लोनमा चाहिँ यो मान्छेको खातामा यतिसम्म छ है भनेर देखाएर 1 डेको लोन पेपर भए पनि हुन्छ हामीलाई। त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ हुन्छ। अनि अर्को भिजा फी, युकेको लागि अर्को खर्च भनेको भिजा फी हो। स्टुडेन्ट भिजा फी 348 पाउन्ड हो र डिपेन्डेन्टको अप्लाई गर्दाखेरि पनि त्यति नै 348 पाउन्ड एप्लाई गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। तपाईँले देखाउनु पर्ने पैसा चाहिँ 28 दिनसम्म तपाईँको खातामा बस्नुपर्छ। त्यो चाहिँ 9 महिनाको लिभिङ एक्सपेन्स प्लस तपाईँको फी राखेर देखाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ। त्यति नै हो ओभरअल प्रोसेस भनेको। स्टार्ट हुन्छ तपाईँ यहाँ आएर हामीसँग काउन्सिलिङ गरेपछि हाम्रो युनिभर्सिटी तपाईँलाई छानेर यो हुन्छ भनेर तपाईँलाई सुझाव दिन्छौँ। तपाईँको सर्टिफिकेट हेरिसकेपछि त्यो हेरिसकेपछि तपाईँले आफ्नो युनिभर्सिटी छानेर हामीलाई तपाईँले फाइनलाइज गर्नुहुन्छ। फाइनलाइज गरेपछि हामीले युनिभर्सिटीलाई अफर लेटरको लागि अप्लाई गरिदिन्छौँ। अफर लेटर आइसकेपछि तपाईँको अफरमा खोलेर आउँछ, यति फी तिर्नुपर्ने यताउता सबै डिटेल खोलेर आउँछ। त्यो भइसकेपछि तपाईँको नो अब्जेक्सन लेटरको लागि तपाईँले गभर्मेन्टलाई अब म बाहिर जाँदैछु भनेर नोटिफाई गऱ्यो, उनीहरूले नो अब्जेक्सन लेटर दिन्छ। त्यो भइसकेपछि बल्ल अनि तपाईँको प्रक्रिया फी पेमेन्ट गर्ने यताउता गर्ने इन्टरभ्यूको प्रोसेस सुरु हुन्छ। इन्टरभ्यू सकिसकेपछि युनिभर्सिटी इन्टरभ्यू सकिसकेपछि तपाईँको कास आउँछ। कास आइसकेपछि होम भिसामा हामी भिजा अप्लाई गरिदिन्छौँ। यो टोटल प्रोसेसमा कङ्गारू तपाईँलाई सपोर्ट गर्छ। प्रोसेस एकदम लामो छ, मैले सरस्वती डिटेलमा बताएको। योभन्दा अझ इन्फर्मेसन चाहियो भने विल बी देयर। ओभर टु यु सुशान्त सर, एनी अदर क्वेसन्स इन दिस एरिया?
थ्याङ्क यू सो मच सर। सो कङ्गारूको चाहिँ नेपालभरि धेरै ब्रान्चहरू छ। स्टुडेन्टहरू चाहिँ काठमाडौँ मात्रै हुन्छ, काठमाडौँभन्दा बाहिरको स्टुडेन्टहरू पनि हुन्छ। त्यस्तो स्टुडेन्टहरूले चाहिँ कुन ब्रान्चमा चाहिँ सर्भिस लिन सक्नुहुन्छ? कङ्गारूको कुन एरिया छ सर? त्यो थोरै भन्नु न।
हजुर सर, कङ्गारूमा हामीसँग ब्रान्चहरू अहिले अल ओभर नेपालमै लगभग हामी छरिरहेको छ। जस्तै हामीसँग पूर्वमा हामीसँग बितामोड छ, इटहरी छ, दमक छ, हामीसँग पोखरा, बुटवल, नेपालगञ्ज, चितवन यो लगायतका ठाउँहरूमा आफ्नो ब्रान्चहरू छ। सो यु क्यान कल अस एन्ड यु क्यान फाइन्ड यर नियरेस्ट। हाम्रो गुगलमा पनि तपाईँले कङ्गारू एजुकेसन फाउन्डेसन भनेर म्यापमा हेर्नु भने तपाईँको सबभन्दा नजिकको लोकेसन खुल्छ। सो विल बी ह्याप्पी टु एसिस्ट यु फ्रम एनीवेयर इन नेपाल।
That's really good. Thank you so much. I want to go to Grant again. Grant, I have picked up a really good program at University of Dundee, MSc in Biomedical Engineering. Most of the students were getting with the science background. They're really interested to study in this course. So what are the career outcomes and what sort of student you are looking for biomedical engineering and MSc?
Yeah, perfect. So with the biomedical engineering, so one of the things that the University of Dundee is quite well known for is biomedical engineering. And part of that is because of the relationship we have with the hospital in Dundee. So like I mentioned, we work with the Nine Wells Hospital in Dundee. It's one of Europe's largest teaching hospitals. And really this course came about because we had one of our lecturers invented the keyhole surgery. So people might have had that before, hopefully you've heard of it. And this is biomedical engineering, so it's looking at how we can apply engineering to the medical world, and that's obviously quite an obvious example of it. And in fact, I believe the inventor of keyhole surgery is still a practicing doctor at Nine Wells and still consults sometimes on the course. So it's a really exciting course to do. There's so many different elements to it. So, you know, you think about medicine as a broad subject, and surgery is a broad subject. So your impact in biomedical engineering can affect really quite a wide variety of people. So in terms of when you're on the course, you will make use of both the workshops that we have at the university. So they're all on our campus. The workshops have kind of all the high quality tools that you need to undertake your degree, but also with the hospital on your doorstep, it means that you see the practical application and you start learning the science as well, because it is important that when you're even as an engineer, so your forte might be maths and physics, even as an engineer, you know, it's important to have this idea of how medicine and biomedicine is going to be important and how you influence that. So everything like that will come into that course, and that course is available in both September and January entry. In terms of where our graduates go, they go into work in medical technology industries, so biotech is obviously a big area. Academic research, as you can imagine, looking at new ways to improve things, hospitals, even in government departments as well. And even when you graduate, you know, because you've got such a wide variety of skills in the back of this, so you've basically got your engineering degree, but you've also got a bit of a biomedicine degree within that as well. So you could go in and be an engineer, but you could also be a research scientist, you could be a teacher, you could be a manager, you could even be a salesperson. You know, if you've kind of underpinned your skills within these, the equipment, either that you've created or the equipment that you've helped engineer, no one knows better about that equipment than you. So there's even, you know, going into the sales side of it is an option. So it's hard to pin down what avenue that more people go into, because there's so many different things that you can do. But it's just such an engaging course to do, because you've got the opportunity to learn within the engineering school, learn the engineering side, but then also get into the hospital and look at, first of all, the lives that you might be changing on the back of this course, but also learning that biomedicine side. So when you are looking for jobs, you know, you've got those two areas of skills that that help you.
Okay. Subash, so what are the support services or the other kind of services offered by Kangaroo to our students? Could you please explain something on that? Sort of a mute voice, right?
So Kangaroo is one of the most reputed education service providers in Nepal. तपाईँले Kangaroo नाम अवश्य पनि सुन्नुभएको होला, किनभने हामी विगत धेरै वर्षदेखि नै यो क्षेत्रमा रहेको भएर स्टुडेन्टलाई कुनै पनि क्षेत्रमा तपाईँलाई हामी एक्लै छोड्दैनौँ, सबै कुरामा हामी तपाईँलाई सपोर्ट गर्छौँ। तपाईँको सबैभन्दा पहिला यहाँ एप्लिकेसन प्रोसेस गर्दादेखि नै तपाईँलाई युनिभर्सिटी छान्नेदेखि लिएर स्टेटमेन्ट अफ पर्पस लेख्ने, रेकमेन्डेसन तपाईँको डकुमेन्टेसनमा हाम्रो एक्सपर्ट काउन्सिलरहरूले तपाईँलाई हेल्प गर्नुहुन्छ। त्यो भइसके पछाडि तपाईँलाई हामीले अहिले युकेको प्रोसेसमा कस्तो छ भने एकचोटि युनिभर्सिटीले इन्टरभ्यू लिन्छ, युनिभर्सिटीले इन्टरभ्यू लिइसकेपछि होम बेसले पनि इन्टरभ्यू लिन्छ है। त्यसको लागि हामी तपाईँलाई तयार गर्छौँ। सुरुमा तपाईँलाई यो एरियामा प्रिपेयर गर्नुहोस्, यस्तो किसिमको क्वेसनहरू आउँछ भने हामी तपाईँलाई राम्रोसँग ट्रेनिङ दिन्छौँ। त्यस पछाडि हामी नै मक इन्टरभ्यू तपाईँहरूसँग लिन्छौँ, काउन्सिलरले लिनुहुन्छ, त्यसपछि म लिन्छु। त्यो सिरिज गरिसकेपछि तपाईँले युनिभर्सिटीको इन्टरभ्यू फेस गर्न तपाईँलाई धेरै सजिलो हुन्छ। त्यो भइसकेपछि कास आउँछ, कास आएर प्रोसेस गरिसकेपछि होम बेसको इन्टरभ्यूलाई पनि फेरि हामी फर्दर तयारी गर्छौँ। हाम्रो काउन्सिलरहरूले तपाईँलाई ट्रेन गर्नुहुन्छ, इन्टरभ्यू लिनुहुन्छ, मक इन्टरभ्यू लिनुहुन्छ। त्यसपछि फेरि एकचोटि फाइनली म तपाईँसँग इन्टरभ्यू लिन्छु। यो भइसकेपछि तपाईँले इन्टरभ्यू फेरि त्यहाँ होम बेसको इन्टरभ्यू फेस गर्न धेरै सजिलो हुन्छ। तपाईँको प्रोसेस एप्लाई गरिसकेपछि, भिजा आइसकेपछि फेरि हामी एकचोटि प्री डिपार्चर ब्रिफिङ गर्छौँ। देन विल टेल यु अल अबाउट युके, वाट टु डु इन युके, वाट्स द फर्स्ट थिङ यु निड टु डु, इन्क्लुडिङ एनिथिङ फ्रम registering into NI, what's going to be your emergency contract, आपको बेलामा के गर्ने, NHS मा कसरी दर्ता गर्ने, त्योभन्दा बाहेक NI नेसनल इन्स्योरेन्स नम्बर भन्छ, युकेमा काम गर्नको लागि NI नम्बर चाहिन्छ, NI नम्बर कसरी दर्ता गर्ने, कसरी पाउने, तपाईँले जबहरू पाउनको लागि के गर्नुपर्छ, यो सबै कुरामा हामीले राम्रोसँग ट्रेनिङ दिएर तपाईँको एरिया यो हो, अथवा तपाईँले एकोमोडेसनको पनि प्रब्लम छ, पिकअप डेलिभरीको पनि प्रब्लम छ, पिकअप सर्भिसहरू पनि चाहिन्छ भने यो सबै कुरा हामी तपाईँलाई एसटिओलाई फुल्ली प्रिपेयर गरेर चाहिँ हामी तपाईँलाई पठाउँछौँ। एन्ड वी विल हेल्प यु after the visa as well. तपाईं हामीसँग सम्पर्कमा रहनुहुन्छ। If you run into any problem, we're more than happy to help you from Kangaroo's side.
Thank you so much. I think we're coming to end of this live session today. So we have a question from Mr. Arun Nepal. So when is the deadline for January? So January deadline चाहिँ कहिले हो सुन्नु भएको छ सुभाष अरुण नेपाल सरले सुभाष सर यसबारे केही एक्सप्लेन गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ?
Sorry, was that myself you're asking the question to?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So for so for ourselves, the deadline for January will be for applications around the 17th of December. So as long as you have your application in by the middle of December, then we can certainly process your application for January. Do remember that in the UK, certainly in the University of Dundee, we do shut for 2 weeks over the Christmas period. So that tends to be from the 24th of December to around the 4th of January. So just to give yourself as much time as possible, and obviously, again, speaking to colleagues from Kangaroo, they'll know that getting your application in with as much time as possible saves a lot of stress on your part and on occasion on our part. So please do get your application in as soon as you can. But as long as your application is in by the middle of December, then we're able to process that. Our start date for January is around the 17th of January. So it leaves about a month for you to get everything in order with CAS and visa.
Grant, I have a follow-up question on that. Do you put cap of the certain number of students accepted on certain programs?
Yeah, only for a couple. So for things like undergraduate medicine and dentistry, there is a cap, unfortunately, for international students. That tends to sit around 13 students on those courses. But for almost all other courses, certainly at a postgraduate level, there isn't really a cap. Sometimes for our clinical program, so thinking from the top of my head, maybe if you're to look at orthopedic surgery, then there is maybe a cap on places because there's only so many places we can offer within the hospital. But I wouldn't let that ever put someone off in applying, but certainly for things like business, for law, for biomedical engineering, for science and engineering, everything like this, there is no cap for students. So we'd always recommend an application, certainly.
Sure. So this is stress delays on the answer. What about quarantine facility? I think Grant will answer this question. Could you please, Grant?
Perfect. So for quarantine facility, so if you we're not quite aware of the arrangements for January yet, we're just going to see what happens with the government and what the restrictions might be for January entry. But to give you an idea for September entry, for those that were coming from maybe amber list countries that were still required to quarantine for 10 days, if they were coming into our university accommodation, then we were able to provide that free of charge. So they're able to come in 10 days early, self-quarantine within our university accommodation, and then they'd stay in that same flat or apartment going forward. If they're going into private accommodation, we would just make sure that that private accommodation is organised for that student when they do join us, because they would be required to quarantine within that accommodation. And we can provide the student support from our side as well. So whether it is helping them organise student parcels, making sure the payment facilities are set up, so making sure you have a bank card ready that can pay for online shopping and have it delivered to your door. These are things that we can help supporting you with. And again, if for whatever reason, maybe the red list country comes back or Nepal's on the red list in December or January, we would hope to support you like we did in September, where we were able to reimburse anyone coming from a red list country by paying for hotel quarantine for them. So the facilities that we offer can depend on what the situation is, but we will always support you regardless of what status we're at with travel restrictions.
Okay. So Amrita Bosnith asks, can I apply without IELTS? Better not, I think. So what do you think, Grant?
Yeah, so I suppose you can apply without IELTS, but you will still require a Pearson test or a TOEFL. I see that maybe do. I don't think that's maybe the answer you're looking for. Unfortunately, we couldn't accept an MOI. The only time we can accept is if you've done an undergraduate degree at a UK university or a US university or an English-speaking university, then we may be able to consider providing an MOI or an IELTS waiver, but Unfortunately, the best answer I can give is maybe not IELTS, but maybe still Pearson or TOEFL, unfortunately.
So हामी त तपाईँले एन्सर पाइहाल्नुभयो आइएल्स बिना एप्लाई गर्न मिल्छ तपाईँले आइएल्सको बे गर्छु पिटी अथवा टोफल गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ सो really tricky question. Very good answer. Thank you, my friend. So I think we have not much question now. So we're coming to the end of this Facebook live session. So I would like to thank Grant Smith and Subash Poudyal, both of you, for your time to deliver the quick management session and even the pre-interview by Grant. So I wish you all the best for today and have a good evening, everyone. And this is going to end the Facebook live session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.